I think that was the key to the game. They came out really fired up. First 10 minutes, it was all in their front half. I reckon that's where the game was won, because we held up as good as we've held up all year. There would have been 8 to 10 stoppages in a row. Well, we've been conceding goals in our D50 early on in the season, whereas we didn't, and we held firm, even though they did get a couple of goals start on us. It could have been a lot worse. And then when we did get back to the centre after that second goal, we got a goal straight away, and it just settled the whole team, I reckon. And then from there, I think we kicked 8 out of the next 9 goals, which was quite amazing, really. And the boys got on a bit of a roll, a bit of confidence was built based on intensity and tackling pressure and just having a fair income crack, which was really pleasing. Well, you can only do what the opposition dish up to you as well, because they're a very good stoppage territory team with the players they've got, like Nunn, Rokar, Grigg. They're all pretty talented players, and Nolan, the rucks, probably one of the best rucks in the competition. And they still got us there at stoppage, but most of the stoppages weren't clean ones. There was a lot of dirty or hard outs, we call them, which helped our defenders defend a lot better than what they had been. And then from there, we were able to transition as good as we've done this year, which was really pleasing, because that's a skill in itself, being able to do that. I reckon someone like Elliot Duncan and Boyley on the wing and Connor Fairley played really big roles on that particular day because of that connection through the midfield. And the way that those guys kick and the decisions they make helped us immensely throughout the game. And then to kick it into our forwards, when you got Beachy kicking a couple, Keogh a couple, and then Josh Gore 2 as well, we were able to share the load and not rely on just a couple of players. Well, he got up the ground a lot more, and he's so constructive when he is in that role as well, because of his ability to win the ball firstly, and then secondly how he uses it. And then if you think of that, he was involved in that long kick to Beach for the one in the third quarter when he took the mark in the goal square. And not many players would recognise that that's the kick, to put it over the back, because there was 2 Norwood defenders that were sort of in front of him, but he recognised that. So he's a good decision maker. And also he did some bone crunching tackles as well, which I've been onto him about. It hasn't been a natural thing for him early in the season, but he came out and really lifted like the rest of the boys, because the tackle count was like 81 to 64, and that was clearly really important to how the game went.
I mean, Isaac's not the muscliest player in the world going around, so it's good that he can tackle.
Oh, but I think everyone joined in the party, to be honest. And so we've set a template now, which is really good, that we know when we need to, because to win games of footy, especially at night, it's a different game. It's a bit more, it was a little bit greasy. You notice there was just a shower or two, a drizzle that was around, so it was a bit more of a contested style of game. Whereas this week we come out and it's going to be 2:10 in the afternoon, and against Central's on a sunny afternoon. I'll be interested to see, because I rate our boys now with the way they handle the ball and the way they're kicking the ball and the decisions they make, so that could be exciting to watch. I just think we held firm. I felt like it was always going to be a challenge just to play the game out, because for 2 quarters or 2.5 quarters we dominated the play, but Norwood have got a lot of pride and are a proud club, and the way they can then close the game up, they structured a little bit differently in the last quarter, which forced a lot more territory style of game, which was going to keep lower scoring. Yeah, so we were fortunate to get out the back for Beachy to get that goal. We just needed that one goal just to steady us, which didn't come till about the 20-minute mark of the last quarter. So I was a little bit nervous, I must admit, just going through that last quarter, but I thought the back line was amazing. That's as good as I've seen our back 7 play this year, and I think that was really important that they held up again in the last quarter and only conceded that one goal in that 25 minutes, I reckon, and then Grigg kicked one towards the end. So that was really important to the result.
What do you reckon were some of the key matchups of the game?
Yeah, well, I liked Schiller and Ed Allen went to Nunn. Now, Nunn still had a big influence, but if we hadn't have tried to slow him down a bit more, he would have had a huge influence. Like, he's their captain and their main barometer. And then I think Noel and Taverner was a big one. I thought Stewie held his own a bit as far as the tap work. Our stats showed like 41 hit-outs to them, 39 to us, of which Stewie had 32. So that was a good result for us, because in the practice game early in the season, Noel dominated, like plus 20 in hit-outs. So I think that was really important to us. I wouldn't underestimate how important Stewie was. And then Noel was pushing back a lot in the third quarter, so I moved Tavernar forward, got him to go forward with him a bit, and he got the goal. So that was really pleasing to see that happen. So there was, and then also just down back, Callow in the practice game kicked 5, and Josh Ryan played on him, kept him to 1 goal. So I think that was pretty important as well. So I got a lot of good, and also Murphy on Puopolo. Murph played a blinder, you know. Like, now we know why he played AFL footy, when you can defend like that on a very, very good player, and then have 20 possessions yourself coming out the other way. It just shows you what he can do. That's why I think people don't realise that Poppy's such a good mark. You've got to have someone a bit taller on him, but they've still got the speed and the agility to match him, and Tom's got all that. So we're fortunate to have a player that's got those attributes, and when his mind's set on it, you can see he's a pretty talented footballer. You don't make AFL unless you've got something going for you. See, Ando was another important in, because Aaron Anderson in for his first game, they all trust him, and you know what you're going to get with him. And then you got Logan feeding off that, Josh Ryan feeding off that, and then Tom Murphy probably feeding off that. So all of us, and Mitch Duval's in ripper form at the minute. So the backs were really good. And then to move that gave us a chance to move Elliot Duncan to the wing. And like, his foot skills are exceptional. You know, and that just helped us so much, getting that out of defence and connection, and then into the forward line. And then on top of that, he was chasing, tackling, going back with the fly. He was doing just about everything. So, you know, if we can get that sort of output from most of our players week in, week out, it's going to help us be pretty competitive.